Good evening, everybody. It's time again for your Rowdies Talk Radio, the Green and Gold Gospel.
Hey there, little Red Riding Hood, I got a problem and it's complicated. Going through changes and I just can't ignore the signs. Hear them now and it's so loud it hurts. Hear me growl, hear me howl when the full moon is out. Hear me growl, you see me run, you see me jump. Try to fight, but I emerge with the prize in hand. You better watch out, it's gonna take more than what you got. All eyes are on me and the silence is deafening. You're so helpless against this full moon. Don't ever say I didn't warn you, because I came to play, came to play, I came to play, came to play, I came to play, came to play, I came to play. Wow!
Hey, soccer fans. You are listening to the Unused Substitutes. Before we dive into our regular show, I just want to say a couple things here. When Matt and I set out to do the Unused Substitute Soccer Show, we wanted it to be for fans, by fans. We wanted to cover the Tampa Bay Rowdies, have fun while doing it, and I think we've succeeded so far. We covered losing seasons, coaching changes, ownership changes, stadium sagas, failed MLS expansion, and ongoing lawsuits. Lawsuits still happening. Thanks, Rocco. And none of that was expected, but we did what we felt we could to bring all of these things to people's attention in the Rowdies world and in the expanded soccer universe. Which brings me to this. I care deeply about this country and the people in it, and because of that, I can't sit silent on this anymore. Our government's actions no longer let us keep politics out of soccer, when supporters groups no longer feel safe enough to sing for their local club, or when entire nations of fans are banned from traveling here to catch their favorite club at the upcoming Club World Cup, or support their countrymen, don the badge, and grab some glory for their home nation. On top of the increased ICE presence, the current administration has recently put another travel ban in place, banning people from at least 12 countries from traveling here by refusing to issue travel visas. One of those countries happens to be Iran, who has already qualified for the World Cup. The ban, weirdly, has a carve-out for the athletes and the staff of Iran, but prohibits any of the fans coming to support that country. There's also Venezuela, which our striker is from Venezuela. What does it say about us that we want this prestige of hosting a global event but refuse to let the world witness it in person? What is the hollowness of celebrating other nations but refusing to let their people in? The United States is still a timeless ideal that rings out across oceans and languages. It is still a promise of freedom and of a better life. It was that way when my grandmother left Italy with the notion that our streets were paved in gold. It is that way for those risking life and limb trekking through jungles to be able to feed themselves and their children. Fans of this beautiful game should be welcomed and should be shown the best of who we are. Instead, cruelty and violence against our soccer community is being carried out now and will be carried out during what should be a celebration. We, as a community of fans who support players of every nationality when they're kicking the ball, need to come together and push back against these cruel, inhumane actions and these bans in every way possible. Please make your calls to your elected officials, sign up for trainings to go court watching, find mutual aids nearby and give your time and donate if you can. But most importantly, protect your neighbors, create the safe spaces for everyone, and let us fight for everyone to be in those stands to sing loudly for their clubs and countries. All right, I think that's it on that one. Ben, how the hell are you?
Well, first off, thank you for saying all that. There's something I need to add to that. I think it's absolutely beautiful and perfect, and I agree with you. Second of all, for those that follow me on social media, you know that I had a ball last night. I got to go to the Metallica concert. I got to be on the floor. I got media passes. I got to be backstage. It was absolutely epic. Now, I did make the fatal mistake of wearing the shoes that looked great, fit terrible. By the time Pantera was done, I could no longer feel my feet. They hurt so bad that, I mean, in the back of my mind, while I am taking in this incredible show, I can't help but think, oh my God, my feet are dying right now. So that was fun. But seeing Metallica live, seeing Pantera live, which is my first time seeing either one of them live, definitely bucket list item for anyone. I don't care if you're a fan of their music or not. They put on a amazing show. I suggest going. It is worth it. I love live music. I love concerts. My friend Lisa turned me really big into a concert person. It was incredible. It was fun. I would say life is good. And most importantly, my greatest achievement, my son gets here on Wednesday. Life is good. Dan, how the hell are you?
I'm good. My family's no longer here. Take that as what you will. I kid.
I
I
like how
love
we
my
did that.
mom. I love my mother. I love my sister. My brother-in-law is great. It was a long 8 days of a lot of walking through New York City. I think I hit every train. I think we rode literally almost every train in the city, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. I did things I wouldn't normally do. Went to the Transit Museum, which is like the autistic person's dream. That's a train joke. Sorry. Loved it. It was good. And then like I think my niece is flying in on Wednesday, and then I'm flying out on Thursday. And then so it's these couple weeks are chaos, but I'm excited. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good place. The Rowdies won a game that I missed, and I forgot to.
Damn it, so did I.
Okay,
We're terrible hosts.
so we'll get there eventually. When I get back, I'll make sure we buy Jaeger and we'll do shots on air. We
Yeah.
made a deal. We have to do it. I promise it'll
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
But let's jump into it. The Rowdies traveled to Kentucky, or Lower Cincinnati, however you want to refer to it, and came out slow and did what didn't come into the game very, maybe jet lag or something, but gave up 2 quick goals, but fought back with a great move and finished by Woobs. What is your takeaways? Like, how did you feel watching that game in the first half? Let's just do it by halves. Like, we could even bring back the old good, bad, ugly. Like, what were you feeling on that one?
Yeah, so this game, for those that listened last week, this played exactly as I called it. I mean, I know I eventually talked myself into a 2-2 tie. I still don't think that was completely wrong because I feel like we had the opportunities at the end to definitely tie this game up. But Louisville did exactly what we knew they were going to do. They were going to high press the shit out of us. They were going to make sure we had no space. They have relentless pursuit. They have great structure in the way they do it. They're very clinical. I didn't like the fact that we started in a 4-back system. I didn't understand the change. I know I was surprised at Forson because from what I'd heard, he was okay. So I don't know if maybe it was just extra precautionary. However, again, like I said last week, I thought Wyke was absolutely brilliant. I really liked the way he played again. I think that's 2 games in a row that we've seen the best side of him, which I need to make sure that I give him credit for that because he deserves it. He played his butt off in both these games. But I don't like the 4-back against Louisville because Louisville overloads the middle, and in a 4-back we get too spread, especially in that middle of the field. I mean, if you look at that. The first or the second goal, I think it was the one where Crisostomo turns it over and he gets that second goal. I mean, there's nobody in behind him to offer that support. And I think with a 3-back system, you keep them so tight within that 18 that it doesn't allow that extra space for their midfield to kind of break through you the way that Louisville did. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It was kind of frustrating that we came on the 4-back. I didn't like it. Louisville did what they always do. They come out fast. They come out, really well structured, and they put 2 good goals. Although I'm a little frustrated with that first goal. We don't have an angle on it. We never got a far away enough angle to see if the guy was offsides or not. He might have been. He might not. Steve talked about in the post game how they think it might have been, but also defenders were holding their shape because they felt he was offsides as well. Leisman doesn't think so. He doesn't think so. He applauds the defenders for playing brave. Look, it's a gamble. I don't know you play that tightly, especially with the inside of 6. But, I mean, realistically, after those 2 goals, they had some chances in the first half. But I feel like after Lupin scored, I felt like we started to find our game a little bit. One thing I talked about last week was we need to play our game against Louisville. We cannot play their game. We will lose that game 100% of the time. There's a reason they're, 11 games undefeated, I think, right? So, I mean, there's a reason they have the record they have right now, which I think it's like an all-time record for the championship, 11 games undefeated. So, I mean, props to them. They know what they're doing. They're well coached. We've talked about this for weeks. But I think Wubin's goal was great. You saw Nick Moon take a ball up the field. You saw him even in pressure, find opening Leo. Leo plays it up the line to Ollie. Ollie plays a quick ball into Wubins. Wubins does the magic that he does. He gets the defender all crossed up and just put his laces through the ball. I don't even know if it was the perfect placement. I think it was one of those, I'm just going to put my laces through this ball. It was a striker's goal, put in the back of the net. And I think from that point forward, we started to find our groove a bit. But Definitely as a whole, I would say that first half that Louisville was the more dominant of the two sides. I think it was more about them than it was about us. And yeah, I mean, I think that was the biggest thing I noticed from the first half. Anything to add to that?
I want to back you up on.
Please.
I have been very critical about Lawrence Wyke for the last few weeks leading up to his red card. After the red card, I was pretty harsh. He is finding his form again. And I think that needs to be applauded. It needs to be called out. We need to be positive reinforcement and call-ins as much as call-outs on this. I do think, offside, we haven't gotten any close calls all year. So, like, it is what it is there. I do think, again, it's little individual errors like Chrysostom's little giveaway. It sucks, but they've killed us all year. You can't do that. We've said it 100 times this year already. And in years past, you can't do that against great teams. And Louisville is a great team. They will punish you every time. That is why they're on this record streak. But it could have, again, on the road, the way everything's been going, the fight is back, I would say. Yeah. Like, we're not giving up. We're not doing anything else. So I really think that, like, we really need to give credit here. In my late night coffee talk yesterday, I mentioned that, like, hope is returning. I don't know. The season is quickly falling out of reach, but people are getting healthy. We're getting to a point where, like, they've made a signing, which is something we've asked for, and we can't complain. And I did say publicly that I don't know if this signing meets a need. We can get into that later, but things are happening, that optimism is returning. The fight is returning on the pitch. Like, we could have easily just checked out after giving away 2 quick goals to Louisville in Louisville. So I really think that we went into that second half with a belief that we should have gotten more than we did, than nothing out of that game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. I mean, it's like, again, I think the biggest part that I didn't like, that I didn't understand, was just the formation. Now, I know last week I talked about formations are a fluid thing. Whatever diagram you see of whatever formation we're in, it doesn't really exist. But we did, if you look at the way we're playing, I mean, we did really hold more of a true 4-back system when playing defensively. And I don't think that plays to our strengths. I don't think it played to Louisville's strengths. I don't think it was a wise choice. And I think we paid for that. But if you look into the second half, we try to stick to that same formation. But I think, Coleman sees, this isn't working. We need to make an adjustment. Now, I had some questions about the subs, because in the 55th, well, let me start off at the beginning of the half. Beginning of the half, Louisville kicks off running at us. I mean, it was hard pressed right again, but we were easily accepting all the pressure, and I think we were moving out of it. But I think it was obvious that we weren't comfortable still. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way that we were set up. I don't think we were set up as well as we could have been. So what do we do? 55th minute, we substitute in Alvarez for Nick Moon, which seems to be a consistent thing. I don't know if Moon is more of a minutes or health thing. Either way, I'm okay with it. I think Moon's been good. I like bringing in Alvarez. I figure, why the hell not? The kid's got talent. I watched him today at practice. I like this kid a lot. Kid has got a boot. Players seem to like him. I'm good with this one. But then when you substitute Hilton in with Bassett off, which I didn't quite get that one. I understand we're trying to stay a little more defensive, but I would really like to see Ollie and Lewis get some time together on the field. I get that there's kind of a likeness there, but I almost would have rather seen maybe pull off Leo and move Ollie up and let Hilton hold him more. Because if you'll notice what we did, we moved Van Kazil out to the right mid position. So it wasn't like Alvarez played out right. He went more to the middle. Van Kazil goes out to the right. We did set up a little more in an attacking form, but I want to see Hilton and Bassett play with one. I think there's a balance between the two of them as far as their styles that I think is more conducive to what we have out there on the field. But I don't know. I'm not a coach. I mean, what are you going to do, right? So anyways, I felt from like this point, once we made that adjustment, I think we found ourselves playing in more of a 3-back with 5 in the middle, again, with whatever formation, whatever you want to put together there. You can do the spaghetti model on that. But once we switched to more of the 3-back, our team looked more comfortable. I mean, like we looked like we were starting to play rowdy soccer as opposed to playing Louisville ball. And you could tell because Louisville they shifted from a full-on, as fast as they can get ahead of you or pressure you on the ball, dropped into more defensive role. Now, yes, I understand that's what Louisville does traditionally in about the 70th minute or so most games. They drop into more defensive. They're comfortable with the pressure. That's fine. But I also think that was also a reaction to the way that we were playing because we were creating more problems up top. So I thought that was good. Then, of course, you have the 76th minute. We have some more substitutions. Fernandez comes off for Arteaga, which I'm okay with that. Again, I don't think Leo had a good game or a bad game. I'm kind of indifferent on it. I like Leo. I think you get more good with bad than him. And then, Bodley Skinner. That seems to be a consistent substitution. I think it's like for like. I think Skinner did well. I had no issues with the way he played. I think he just continued us on that trend of playing more rowdy soccer, being more of a problem. We weren't just playing out wide. We were working our way through the middle of the field. Again, second game in a row where I really thought our 1-2 touch out of tight positions was so much better. Now, I know I got people over in the comment section that are just chirping at me about what do you think the guys are doing. But look, I get it's tough to find good things in losses, but you have to take the team you're playing against into consideration. You can't say this loss is the same loss as Miami. It's just not. They're not the same. And the team that's playing right now, I think, is playing a much more defined system than what we were playing even 3 weeks ago. Dan and I have talked about consistently about how patterns of play are big, and we're starting to see those. We're starting to see the same guys out on the field. What do we do when we let in 2 early goals? We changed our system. Why would we do that? I think you're going to see. I don't think you'll see a 4-back consistently again. I think you're going to see us stick in that 3-back. I like the way that we ended this game because it really felt like we had fight, like we believed we were going to come back, which again, I talked about last week. I was like, if this team decides to say, screw it, we can play with these guys. We can play with anybody. We can start this turnaround whenever the hell we want. Why the hell not Louisville? And the team played like that. And we haven't seen that before. And I get it. Again, you're all like, but we still lost. You guys are insufferable. I don't want to go to a drinking party with you guys ever. Because you would literally suck the life out of any party we go to. And I'm telling you that now. You know who you are. I'm looking right at you. And if you're not watching this, you're listening to it, I'm looking into you right now. I'm talking through your speakers right at you. You know who you are. Anyways, go ahead, Dan.
I mean, there's so much to unpack in that rant there.
Please do. Please do, because I could keep going.
I think you're right. Like, I think we all need to adjust down and realize what this Rowdy season is and where we're at. And it's a lot of reshaping, rebuilding, re-identifying who we are. And in a game against Louisville at Louisville is rarely going to be a win. I don't have the stats in front of me, but it rarely is. I mean, yes, the 2020 Eastern Conference Final, if we want to rub that in some faces, but that's 5 years ago now. Those are rarely wins. Louisville is consistently the pinnacle of USL Championship soccer. Like you can tell me, well, they haven't won a championship in the blah, blah. They are the flagship brand, and they should be. They are the most consistently. So to go into Louisville without like our legs under us, still rocking from whatever the season you want to say about this season, and to come out in the second half and take it to them, even though we haven't been able to put the ball in the back of the net more than once in a game consistently, is a lot. I think we should take a little bit of hope and take some stock in the fact that like Lewis Hilton's coming back. We have Alvarez now. Leo, like I always hate pulling Leo off because you never know when he's going to pop up and do some of his like Brazilian magic,
Yeah, that's fair.
But he's also aging and we want to manage him throughout the year so we can get the most out of Leo. Like, so I don't mind taking him off, but like he's like one of the first names on should be one of the first names on a team sheet every week when healthy, because that man is magic, and we need to remember that. And I think, like you said, the consistency, finding an actual consistent system and an identity on the field is important. And I think coming off that Jägermeister Cup win, coming here, we're starting to see actual identity and what Steve Coleman wants his club to be. I do think, again, like I just said, the season is slipping away. The regular, like the USL Championship season is starting to slip away. There's still time, don't get me wrong, but we are 1 point behind Miami in the Jaeger Cup's group standings. Put all our eggs in that basket. Make this a successful, like if Steve Coleman wins a trophy, are we going to complain? Especially like the first ever like USL Championship entry into the Jägermeister Cup? No, I would love that. That's history. The Rowdies are a historic club. We should do it. But as for this, I would like to say that like I never thought we'd win in Louisville. never, like you talked yourself into a 2-2 draw, and I don't know what math you got there, but you almost got the right answer. Like
But
you
I mean,
were
we were almost there. I mean,
right.
we really had our chances.
I agree.
I mean,
I'm
we were
100% with you.
crossbar a couple times. We were there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm with you, and I agree. And I know I get amped up sometimes, and I kind of go on these rants, and
You should. That's what
it's
this
just
is for. This is group
I
therapy.
know it's just one of the things I asked even 3-4 weeks ago is I need this team to fight, right? I need this team to fight like they believe that they can compete,
Like the
and if they can
guy,
do that, then I'm
the Seattle guy, where he's like, "Come on, Seattle,
fight and win."
yeah, that's. I need you to just do that at the next home game.
That's a no from me, dog. That's not gonna happen. I'll just get the bullhorn. I'll sit up there on. Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. No, but I mean, I needed the team to show that they fight, like they believe they deserve to be there. Is it any surprise that as guys are getting healthy, and Steve Coleman has more time to implement a system, and guys are getting more consistent starts, and players are getting more familiar with positioning? Is it any surprise that some of these things are coming along? No. I mean, imagine this. Take the first 5 games or 6 games away from Steve Coleman and put that into an off season where he actually gets a chance to train with the guys. And then this is about the natural transition you expect. Now, look, it has been a grind up to this point, and I get it. The season is dwindling down. Although we say that, we still got to freaking October. We got some time, man. We're not, this isn't over. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're going to be in the top 4 and we're going to get a home game. We're going to run all the way through the play. No, that's not what I need. What I need is this team to fight their way to the end of the season, get themselves into the playoffs. Even if you lose in the first round, I don't care. But that growth from where you start to where you end the season, I think is huge. It's huge for, the mentality of this team, the mentality of the club. I mean, these are all big things that are important. So, like I was happy to see us take the pressure and apply our style, which I get that's a loose term right now, but we're able to apply our style of soccer and slowly start pushing it on not just the best team in the championship, but a team that traditionally doesn't allow you to do that. Like that's a big point that I don't feel like people understand. When Louisville goes defensive in these games, they want you to have the possession. You have possession because they're allowing it. You're getting to their 18 because they are putting you in a position they want you to be in. But you're not getting any further or getting any other chances on goal because they are putting you exactly where their system is designed to put you. And we were consistently getting in behind them and creating openings, not just on the sides, but in the middle, and creating problems. Like, that's a big deal. And look, I hate that. I would love to not be sitting here right now and cheering on and celebrating these kind of moments because it's not what we're used to. But like Dan said, this is the season we have. This is what we have right now. And we can either choose to embrace that or we can sit here and cry and moan and wear bags on our heads, talk about we only earned last place. Like, we could do all that. But I choose, as somebody who loves this club, someone who has supported this club since I was a kid, to put my faith in the team and the players and find the positives and push this team forward. Because doing that other crap does absolutely nothing to move us in a direction that we want to go. You think wearing a bag in your head is sending a message to the team that you guys do better because I wear a bag? No, that doesn't do anything. You think booing at halftime does anything? Yeah, that's a great way to motivate your team. That always worked on me as a kid.
Wait,
Guys,
did your dad boo you at halftime?
no, he just wasn't there.
I feel like that's worse.
That's not true. My dad was always at my games. He was great. I never got booed, but I always played on a great team, so I never had that problem. I couldn't resist the opportunity. I'm sorry.
Perfect. That was great. That was a good one.
All right. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think like I understand that this season is not where our standards are and what this club is, who this club has been, and who this club should be. But it is who the club is right now. And, decisions have knock-on effects. Neil leaving, we had this discussion, like Neil leaving when he did, the other departures, the way things have happened. People, like, things happen, and this is where we're at. And I love this club with my whole heart. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a tattoo. I wouldn't be doing the show for so long. I wouldn't be, doing the things that we're doing. And that means, sure, make jokes. I make the worst jokes about how bad this club is, at times, but I love them. It's like I make fun of my family, like you do that. It's good natured ribbing. But at the end of the day, like I support them and I'm going to be here in the losses. These guys deserve it. It's also entertainment. It's sports. Like, calm down, Greg. It's just soccer. Like,
Yes.
I love it, and I will get mad. And during those 90 minutes, maybe sometimes for a little longer, maybe by the time we come back to the show, I'm still angry. But like, it's soccer. Enjoy the game. Enjoy, like, we still get to watch Aaron Gee and Lewis Hilton, Leo Fernandez, now Ali Bassett. Like, we get to watch these guys play soccer. Forrest Lasso is a generational defensive talent for the USL. Like, we get to watch these guys play soccer. We got to watch Joe Cole on one of the worst teams we've had, and
Right.
Marcel Schaefer. Like, we've got to witness some good soccer at bad times and just appreciate it. Just enjoy the ride, man. Just enjoy the ride. Like, does it suck during those 90 minutes? Yeah, but just start chanting like you're nothing special. We lose every week. Chant that. Like, have some fun with it. Let's take some British humor for once and some like dark humor about it and have some. Just enjoy it, man. Like, just enjoy it. I'm frustrated. We have ranted many a times on the show. There are silver linings, and we can do an angry show every week if you people want. I don't want to do it. I'm not an angry person. I'm not going to get
Same.
sad about it. I'm not a sad person. Well, I'm pretty emo. That's a lie.
I was going to say, hold up a second.
Maybe therapy's finally working. We're working through, but like, I just don't want to do those shows. I don't want I don't want that to be the atmosphere around the club. I think one of the first things that helps a turnaround is bringing back a positive attitude. People, like, the players should want to come out on that pitch and play for you, and like know that there's belief in the stands when people are singing, and they want to, like, they feed off that, and like, so we need to continue to do that as supporters and as fans. And it does, Alvarez, I'll talk about it like I alluded to earlier. I don't think he meets the needs and the holes in the club, but it's action. We asked for something, anything, and they gave us a high-end quality youth talent that might not be the need for this current moment, but next year we can build around him, and he seems on every metric to be ranked pretty high, like so, and I liked the little bit I saw out of him, and looking forward to more as he gels with this team and gets more minutes and learns the players around him. Exciting talent is exciting talent, and the Rays and our front office has responded and found, an available player that is going to improve this club, and they did it. So kudos to them. I think this is the episode where we address and say thank you, and we notice what's happening, and we're not, like, between Wyke and this, like, things are happening. Players are getting healthy. So thanks to, like, Andrew Keane and the athletic training staff, like,
yes,
things are coming together. It might, again, I'm not ready to fully throw in the towel on the USL Championship season. We can eke into the playoffs and make a run. We've seen crazier stuff in sports, but we still are very much alive in the Jägermeister Cup. There's still plenty to play for this season, and it seems, and the guys aren't ready to give up. Neither should we.
No, I mean, 100% agreed. And like I said, if you'll notice, I mean, when we changed our formation, we changed as a team. Our identity started to come alive again. I mean, it's no surprise that what we've been playing most in recent games changed the way we looked and put us into an identity that we're familiar with. And it created opportunities. To your point with Alvarez, I actually think that's a great signing. I would push back a little bit saying it doesn't fill a need. I know he's a midfielder and he can pretty much play, from what I've been told, he can play anywhere in the midfielder. Charlotte played him as a striker. I absolutely think that he could step up top. If you wanted to play dual strikers as far as like a Woobens and him up top, I think you could actually do that. And I think there's a time and a place for it that you could potentially see it happening. Granted, the kids practiced two times before stepping in this game. So what were we really going to see here, right? It was always going to be a little chaotic, and that's fine. He's not going to be familiar with all the players, and kind of where they're going to be in repetition. I mean, that's just stuff that's going to take a couple weeks. I'm willing to accept that. But after what I saw today in practice, I mean, one, kid's got a boot. I mean, he hit a couple balls today that hit the post so hard that the goal moved. And I know most of you don't understand how heavy a goal is. I'm telling you, that thing is heavy. and he was rocking the goal with his shots. Like, the kid is going to be a problem. I get that it may not pay off the way we want it to this year. I think in the in the grand scheme of things, but big picture here, I mean, like Dan said, I think going into next season, this is another kid along with like an Ollie Bassett and so on and so forth that we can build with and we can continue to move forward. And yeah, I mean, I agree too. Like, I don't want to do angry episodes. I know I'm kind of famous for having angry rants, and that's because I'm Irish and Scottish, and that's just who the hell I am. And you can kick rocks if you don't like it. F you. No, I love you. That's not true. Well, some of you. But I mean, yeah, I don't want to do angry episodes either. I mean, like, I get it. Like, I don't want to be sitting here talking about, the finer things, but the small victories, because ultimately we want the big victories. That's what we all want. We want the glory. I mean, that's part of watching sports, right? It's the thing you shut off everything else, and for 90 minutes in that moment, you're with your friends. This is your joy. This is your thing. This is your passion. And of course, when things are going well there, it's frustrating, but such is the life of a sports fan. I get that people have the right to say and do whatever they want. I get that. Again, like I said last week, it's just not how I choose to show my support. Again, I think the team is doing things well. I mean, look, do we get out of here with a win or a tie? No. I think we absolutely should have got a tie out of this game, but coulda, shoulda, woulda, but well. But I mean, if that first goal gets called back for offsides, I mean, whatever. I mean, if we start off in a 3-back system, could it all? I don't know. What we have here is a loss. All right. But if we can take this mentality moving forward into Miami, who we have proven, at least over a half, that we can absolutely knock the snot out of this team. And there was a comment on one of those verses, I hate playing Miami because it gives me a false sense of who we are. Yes and no. I agree to that. I agree to a point. You're right, because Miami's not very good either, right? We should beat Miami. I agree with you there. But what I will say is, for a team that is building confidence and moving needing desperately to move in a winning direction, beating a Miami is important. Regardless of who they are, you can only beat the team in front of you. That's who we've got next.
Also,
and I feel
every team is ahead of us in the standings, so you need to start beating the Miamis. Like, we like to say Miami's the punchline. We're in last place. Beat Miami, take the victory, and start climbing back up those standings to get into a playoff spot.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, look, if we want to make a run, and it may not be pretty, but the question last week, I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, Dan, but what is considered to be a good June? And I said 8 points, and I get that was a stretch, right? Like that was because I was saying tie Louisville, beat Miami, tie Pittsburgh, beat Indy. Like, you win at home, tie away. That's the magic number, right? So maybe 8 might be a bit of a stretch, but I still think Miami and Indy are winnable games. Indy's going to be tough. I'm not saying that I'm not walking over them by any means, considering where we are. I get that. But I'm saying if you get the win in Miami, I think now that's another game. You're building momentum. You can go to Pittsburgh, which I get that it's kind of a hit and miss as far as our results there, but I think we can all agree that's a tough away. Pittsburgh at home, even when they're not playing well, is still a tough away. It's tough travel. It's a tough game. You celebrate the wins when you come out of there, because they are hard to come by. And that's kudos to their fan base and their ownership and that team for making that a fortress for them. But I think you can get that tie there, and then I think you can come back home if you got two more games in a row where you really got that momentum. Yeah, why not punch an Indy in the mouth and finally start moving yourself in that direction? I mean, again, I think that if we want to kind of get on any kind of a roll, we have to believe that we can do those things. That has to be your mentality. It can't just be, well, we might lose again and we're still not, like, those are mentality killers. So that's why you bring in psychologists to teams, is because you're helping to change that mindset. That's the whole point of this. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys, is like, we have to change our mindset of it. We have to believe that we can do these things, because if we don't even believe we can do these things, we're never going to do these things. And I want us to start doing them. That you guys clearly want us to start doing that. I'm just saying, like, if we want to do that and have a chance, these are the things we have to do to get there. So yeah, Miami, being whatever they are, they're ahead of us, and I think they're beatable. If we can come out with the mentality we had, playing better soccer, and actually play a full 90 against them, I absolutely 100% believe that we can actually knock the snot out of them. And who knows where you can go from there? Who knows what kind of momentum that brings to players that need confidence going forward? Sorry, I'm kind of getting a little ahead of
You're great. I mean, I think it's now Louisville's out of the way. I probably would have told you 7 points is probably the max we can get this month.
That's fair.
Which is great. I mean, 7 points would go a huge way of getting us back into, a little bit of a fight. Pittsburgh, absolutely. Pittsburgh away. I don't even know if I'm going to watch. It's going to be a 0-0 Bob Lilly special, and I'm going to want to eat a bullet just to get through it. And I hate that game. I hate Pittsburgh away. It is my least favorite, and it always feels like a waste of 90 minutes of my life. And it's just... It's soul crushing. Like, we could be having the best Rowdy season ever. You go to Pittsburgh, it's going to be a 0-0 Bob Lilly special, and I'm going to put my head through a wall and just cry out of boredom. But, I'll take that point in Pittsburgh. If we get a point in Pittsburgh this time, I will be over the moon about it. Like, let's put Bob Lilly on his heels and make him play a conservative game against us, But I do think 7 points is probably our ceiling. I think Miami's definitely beatable. And we're a different team from the Jägermeister Cup game, and I think we're actually a better team. So I think we can do the ththings we need to, especially, Lewis Hilton's going to get more minutes. Maybe we'll get more Alvarez. Maybe, we'll figure Woobins can score. Like, it'll be there's so much more potential in it. So I think Miami's definitely beatable. And then if we can take a 3-0 first half and close it out for like a 3-1, 3-0 game, if we can finally get a clean sheet this year, that momentum going into Pittsburgh, then going against Indy is huge. It is huge. Like, I think you can start to feel the belief coming back to this club. We'll see how this goes against Miami. I think Miami might be make or break again. I think that Miami game broke us last time and is allowing us to be fixed. But, I don't know. We'll see. Again, you're right. We have to believe, Ted Lasso, believe, hit the sign, go. Like, you need to change that mentality. You need to stop thinking that every game is going to be lost. Why bother? I think it's twofold, like we were just saying. It's the locker room needs to believe it, and the mob needs to believe, the supporter section needs to believe it. And it's okay to be angry. I don't want to tell anybody how to support your club. It's your business, your thing, whatever. I personally, it comes from years of being a New York Islanders fan, a Tampa Bay Rays fan when they were really bad.
Yeah.
Like, none of my teams are good. I'm used to this. I've been born in it. I was raised in it. Good old Bane quote here. But so I'm used to it. So you find these things, you build, you move, and, you can have fun in these crappy moments. We can, at the very least in those standards community, but you can't lose hope. Hope kills, but hope gives life. Like, it makes it worth it. When you go into that stadium, there's that belief you'll win. And then, maybe with the Rowdies, they give the ball away and, they give up a goal within 9 minutes or something. But, whatever. We can still win. You still got to score one to win. So, if I start losing hope, even in this season, that the game, game is out of reach or before we even set foot on the pitch, I don't think I want to be watching sports anymore. The joy is gone for me. And sports is pain, but sports are joy, and their hope, their community. They're these things that are more important than a result here or there. That being said, we better win against Miami.
Look, I mean, one of the things that I would like to point out for a lot of people is, let's remember, for one point, Lewis Hilton. What is one thing that Lewis Hilton does? He is, as I said last week, he is a guy that drives this machine. He moves us up and down the field. He's the one that makes line-breaking passes. He's the one that opens up spaces out wide. He's the one that creates the movement of this team, and we move up and down with Lewis Hilton. He's also a stopgap for the defense. That's a major player to start getting back. And this is nothing against Crisostomo or Venkezil. I think they both have done phenomenal jobs. But if you're asking me who I want there, I want Hilton in that position. I want him there to start moving this around. The other thing we need to do is we need not be one-dimensional as far as who is going to score our goals. We are one-dimensional right now. I get that other players have sprinkled in goals here and there, but let's be honest. If a team is playing against us, they are looking at Woobins. Period. End of discussion. That's who they're looking at. We are one-dimensional. We need other players to start creating opportunities. And I feel like bringing in this Alvarez kid, I think, could potentially create some of that, because he is not afraid to put his laces through the ball. We know Ollie Bassett will do it. We know Leo will also take his opportunities. If we can start peppering the goal, and not just make everything through Woobens, it'll allow him to be more open and create more opportunities for himself as well. Like, all these things play into one another. And so I really feel like, while, again, to your point, Alvarez may not be the need that we need. Like, yes, do we still need a defender? I would agree. I think we still need a defender. Do we still need a pure attacker or striker? Yeah, I think we do. But I feel like in the system that we have been playing, I feel like Alvarez can fill that role in such a way that allows us to be a multi player threat, which is what we need more than anything right now. And again, I love Arteaga. I'm okay with him coming in late in the game. I think it was the right move. I'm glad that we did that. By the way, something I meant to point out to you, Dan, that I thought was a great kind of a nod to you was, in that book you read about making substitutions at smarter times in the 55th minute. Have you noticed that we've consistently started doing that?
I'm beginning to think Steve Coleman listens to this show, which is terrifying.
I mean, well, yes or no, or maybe he read the book and he's willing to take in more information. I'm willing to take a coach to say, maybe read the book. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it has nothing to do with one another. I don't know. I found it interesting that that is something that you brought up that traditionally we have not done. We didn't do since he's taken over. I don't see many other teams doing it, but yet we are starting to consistently do that. And I think it is making a clear impact on the game. So that was just something that stood out to me that I want to bring up to you.
Thank you. I'll take the praise.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's like, look, I think Lewis Hilton is going to give us more opportunities. I think if you can unleash Ollie Bassett from feeling like he's got to carry the weight in the middle of the field, God, if we could ever get Wazzy back. I said last week, man, and again, Nick Moon, thank you for doing what you're doing. I think you've done a phenomenal job. But I think we can all consistently agree that Wazzy is our best right mid. I don't think there's a debate there.
I would say, like, if we can get Wazzy back, like, and you put Woobens, Alvarez, like, kind of up top, maybe stagger, play off each other, Leo, Bassett, and Wazzy behind, and let that just work. And then Hilton, Chrysostomo, or Hilton and Van Kezio, like, general, and then Guillen, Lasso, Wyke on the back, or Castellanos, but Wyke has earned that spot again, in my opinion. I think that, but that, like, front five with, like, Hilton back to, like, help dictate, and those runs that Wazzy and Bassett and Leo can make and Alvarez can make, and the speed of Woobens and the deceptiveness of Woobens, it would be chaos. Like, you know, just create the angles, the runs, everything, the pass that they could create would be incredibly interesting. And other than, like, Leo, and well, Wazzy is not so much either, but, like, it's a pretty young front. And, you know, like, if that's where we're going to start going, I would love to have a young Bassett, Woobens, Alvarez, you know, and maybe get another right back that's young that can study under Wazzy and just get that going, you know. Like, I would love, if that's where we're going to go this season, do it, you know. Get us kids that are going to, that for next year and 2 years on, and build, you know, we still have Nate Worth, who got called up to the youth national team. Yeah, and won. So, like, we have youth, we have talent. I'm pretty sure it's, like, common that once Nate Worth turns 18, he's gone overseas. Get that money invested in more players and continue the trend.
100%.
So there's so much potential here, especially that we're getting healthy and, you know, the investment, that, like, we can really be building for next year. We could be building for a fun end of the season, but we're really, you know, building towards a solid foundation for the future. And, like, I took a lot of shots at the Rays in these past few weeks because of, you know, frustration and anger. But this is truly the Rays way. I mean, how many times have we seen the baseball club have brilliant seasons and then recycle, get rid of the, you know, the big name, the bigger name talent, bring in the no names that everybody hasn't. They struggle early. They grow into their own with a little bit of investment here or there, trade. And then all of a sudden they're making playoff runs and World Series runs, and then the cycle continues. It's very Rays. I still don't think it works for soccer. You know, like, it's a different breed. But if we're going to do it, we seem to be building smartly for the future. I mean, I think you'll have to replace Guillen, Lasso. Well, Guillen maybe in another year or two. I think Lasso will probably be done after the year. Yeah. Hilton's, you know, been limping along. He might be towards the end. Leo. So, like, the core is aging, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, right now, you know, they still got some miles left on their tires. So I think they're building smartly. I think there's still some excitement to be squeezed out of this season, especially if we keep getting healthier and we bring in one or two more talented kids or even a veteran or two. I think those needs are still there. I'm not content with just one signing raise. I am not. Please hear me bring some more. But the potential's there. And, you know, like and to your point, when you were saying about Steve Coleman bringing subs in earlier, this, that, and the other, I want a coach to try new things. Like, you know, sometimes the old manual that like soccer coaches have been using in this country since 1950 or whatever, obviously is outdated. I want innovation. I want newness. I want people willing to take a couple of risks to get the result and figure it out. And if the numbers are working, that like these guys coming in a little 10 minutes earlier than normal, then keep doing it and find ways to find those little advantages and take them, especially when things aren't going right. So I want to say I'm still cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. Look, and Dan, to your point, like, look, why not be bold? I mean, look, what's the worst that could happen? We'll be in last place. Already got that covered. So it's like, why not take risk and take chances? I mean, the worst thing that happens, you stay right in the position you're in. But at least this way, you're trying to be different. You're trying to be bold. You are trying to challenge your players that are going to be here for the long haul or moving forward, a chance to be brave and to do bold things. I mean, I would rather go out fighting and doing it our own way than just accept defeat and, you know, tuck our tail and just roll into the end of the season and pack our bags and say goodbye to whoever we're going to say goodbye to. And that's the end of the season. Then we got 3 months before we see him again. I can't say that's what I want. And I don't think that's what anybody in the club wants either. I think, to your point, you're right. Like by willing to make changes, whether it be because they read a book or not, or whatever, but making substitutions at different times, being willing to put on the players and bring in other talent to try and make things. Like, who's to say that if we don't go on a little bit of run, we don't pick up another player? Once we prove that, hey, this one made a difference, why not pull on another? I mean, I think these signings are available out there. And again, credit, I saw the gentleman today who was responsible for that, and I told him thank you for both of us, because kudos to him for going out there and making the signing. But I mean, look, I still think we have the talent to compete with most of the talent within this league. I don't think there's any reason for us to just sit here and pack it in. Is it always going to be perfect? No. Are we going to keep making mistakes? Yeah. I mean, that's soccer, right? I don't expect this team to be perfect, but I expect them to be the best version of themselves, win or loss, and continue to fight and keep building in that system. Because I think in the moments that we've done it consistently, we have looked dangerous. It's only a matter of time. You can only hit the post or just barely miss the goal so many times. At some point, the opportunities start to make their way in. They just do. I mean, it's just science, law of averages. I mean, that's the one thing I think I learned in high school. I don't remember anything else. Law of averages. That's what you get. Because I was asleep or skipping most of the time. Kids, don't do that. Don't be like me. Be better. But I mean, law of averages says that eventually, look, these things, their chances are going to start falling. I think we see a pathway to get there. I think Steve Coleman sees a pathway to get there. I think the players see the pathway as well. I think they're buying in. I think they're believing. I mean, again, look at the way those guys celebrated after the win last week. I mean, did you see the way they celebrated? Like the insurmountable weight of all the drama of the season looked like it was lifted in one win. Again, I don't care who the win was against. You can only play the team that's played in front of you. In this case, it just happened to be a team that was in League One, lower down the stands. Who cares? A win is a win. You know, you got to take those, you know, for what they are. It's a win. And I saw a lot of guys like just that took a deep breath. And then in this game against Louisville, even though we stumbled coming out of the blocks, which, look, Louisville's a damn good team. I don't care who it is. Charleston stumbled out coming against Louisville. It happens. And Charleston is arguably just as good as them. And even though I hate that club with a passion, that's a nod to Louisville being who they are. Okay. And okay, but we fought back. We are again finding an identity. I believe the team is buying in, and those are all good signs. Again, if you're asking for a perfect solution, if you're out there asking for a perfect solution, we don't have it. Like, we don't know. But all you can do is keep taking chances, buy into your system, keep taking chances, keep doing the repetitions, and eventually these chips are going to fall. Like, eventually these things are going to happen. It's just a matter of where do we end up at the end of it all. I don't know, but I'm here for the ride.
I will say credit to Steve Coleman, because after the gauntlet that he started in, after everything these players have been through in the last year and a half, whatever, they're buying what Steve Coleman is selling still.
Yep.
And so, like, there may be doubts around his ability, where he's going to take us. And that's right. He's an unknown quantity. It takes, and the results have not been there. But despite that, the players are buying in, and, and you saw that win, the relief and the excitement after that win. Yes, again, whatever, South Georgia Tormenta, like, who cares? It's a cup competition. We won. That win counts just like every other win. And the relief there. And then I think that's why they bought a little more in. Like, it is working, and they're seeing it. They know. And that means a lot more to me than in this moment, in this arc of the season, seeing, because it could have been very easy for the veterans to not give a shit anymore. They could have been like, well, Robbie was, Robbie sold us this. It didn't work. Steve Coleman, he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know why we're listening to him. It's not working. Everything sucks. And just not have, like, actually bought in, and the results would have just spiraled. Like, I know our results are not great, and they're very on par to maybe like Miami's last year.
Yeah.
But, like, Miami was a broken, deserted team. And this team looks like they still want to figure it out. And they're still committed to the badge, and it seems Steve Coleman. So I know we're back on silver linings. I know what you're thinking. I get it.
But I mean, but to your point, sorry to cut you off real quick. We have seen a team at midpoint quit and go toxic on coaches. We saw it with Thomas Rongen.
Yep.
We saw it with Stuart Campbell.
Yeah.
Like, this team isn't doing that. And, like, that speaks volumes about what's happening behind the doors that none of us are privy to, and we're not going to be, and that's okay. But the actions tell me that this is a team that is still together. And given what they've faced, I mean, that doesn't traditionally happen. Like, that's not how these things play out, at least not in our experience, from what we have with our previous two coaches. When things go bad and they go toxic, they're not going well. I mean, you've got players fighting one another. We've seen that one. We have seen teams completely quit on one another mid-season. We've seen that one. I mean, we've seen coaches, turn on one another. I mean, all these things happen. I don't see that right now. Now, maybe it is happening and we don't see it. I don't think that's the case when you see the team fighting the way they're fighting, to your point.
Yeah, no, 100% agreed. And we have seen so much. Like, sometimes, Casey made the analogy the other day. We were talking, like, I was reading stuff about the team and the league and whatever. And I was just, like, sitting back, and I was just like, I don't know what's happening. I felt like, and she's like, you're like the veteran reporter. And I was like, yeah, I probably should have my tie loose, a cigarette, like, just, like, jaded as all hell about everything happening with this club. Like, we've seen it. We survived it. We came back better. It might have taken a little longer after Ronget and Stu Campbell, but those Neil years were worth the Stu Campbell years, in my opinion. And, like, I think the Steve Coleman era might be a short little blip, might be a trivia question to give away tickets in 5 years, or it might be the start of something new. Like, I don't know. I don't have a threshold of whether we keep Steve Coleman. I also don't know what coaches are available that can come in that could, change it and be, it's not like top flight European football where you're like, oh, well, go get Jose Mourinho or go get Claudio Ranieri, or, you don't, it's not like that. It's the second division. And a lot of times we've seen you can go spend a bunch of money, or you can have a great offer for a European coach, and it doesn't translate to the US. Sorry, Robbie Nielsen, it doesn't translate to the US. Yep. So, like, there American coaches? I'm sure, but, like, or you can just create your own, you can grow your own. We can ride this Steve Coleman experiment for, another year, give him a whole year or whatever and see where it goes, or, wait, let him caretake until Jan Ekra is ready and give Jan Ekra the keys to the car. Like, we can see, we can figure that out along the way. But I think I think we're okay. Like, I believe weirdly in Steve Coleman. I want it to work. I really do. I know people are already saying let's bring in a manager, and I've said it that maybe we should, but like, I still kind of believe in Steve Coleman. I don't want to give that up yet, and maybe I'm just, the last one here.
No, I'm with you, man. At this point in the season, I don't want another head coach. I don't. I think it's a mistake. I think you would be absolutely imploding this team because to bring in a new coach, he's got to learn all new players. These guys got to re-identify themselves to the coach. Whole new system. No. If that's the case, just blow up and forfeit the season. I think we're bought all the way in with Coleman. I think we give him the right out through the remainder of the season. Depending on how it plays out, depends on the decision you make going forward with him. Let's say we continue this path that we're on, and maybe we still end up in like the bottom three. But what if we're playing outstanding soccer, and this team has really come together? Do you give them an off season and maybe bring in some players? I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how things go the remainder of the season. I don't know, right? But what I do know is that this is who we've got through the year. Again, yes, I would like to see maybe one or two other players, but a lot of that is also, depending on how this team plays. I mean, do we show that we have life and we deserve to bring? It doesn't make sense to invest to bring in another player because we're going to make a push. I mean, these are all, everything, is tied to one another. I think that if we can prove right now that this team is making a push and that the signings are making a difference and that we are heading in the right direction, then maybe we do see another signing. Maybe we do see something else. I don't know. I'm with you to the Rays or to ownership, whoever ends up and the front office who makes that call. Yes, I would love more players, but I understand there's a lot of things tied to that. But I think if this team's fighting, I would love to see you do the same. That's just me.
Yep. We're on the same page, thankfully. I don't want to have to fight my co-host. Might make good
Well,
radio.
you're gonna have a really long reach there, buddy, because you are pretty far away.
It might make good radio if we're feuding on air about like the direction of this club. But yeah, I don't know. It's been an hour.
Yeah. Now, look, I got to be honest with you. I wasn't sure how we were going to do this one because there's a lot of the same, but I think there's a lot of positives too. I remain to be optimistic. My buddy Kai always gives me crap about being overly optimistic at the beginning of every season. I know, but I choose to be optimistic. I choose to believe in the team. I love this club, and I just can't do the other way. It's just not me. It's against my nature.
What if you go? If you go into every game thinking you're going to lose and it's going to be awful, why are you doing it? Like, maybe it's survival mechanism of like working shitty jobs where like you have to hope it's going to be a good day, otherwise you're going to drive your car into a telephone pole. Like maybe that's it. I don't want my fandom, my soccer supporter fandom, whatever you want to call it. I don't want it to be a job. I want it to be exciting. I want it to be hopeful. I want it to be more than like, here we go again. Like I go into every hockey season thinking the Islanders might make it to the conference finals or the Stanley. I know that the Islanders have not been in the Stanley Cup final since I've been born. Well, I was maybe an infant, but like I still wake up every hockey season and say, it's going to happen this year. And by, like April or May, I'm like, well, there's always next year. And and then sometimes, a sports team might surprise you, like when your football team, the Giants, beat an undefeated Patriots team in a Super Bowl, and they shouldn't have belonged there. Miracles happen. So, I'm going to keep that hope. I'm going to stay optimistic about this stupid club that does nothing but bring us pain, and continue having fun.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, any predictions for Miami? I already put mine out, and I already put mine out there 4-1. So my guy got to back it up.
Okay, Mitch, you're feeling.
I know. I went for it. I did. As soon as I said I hit send, I went against my own. Hey, don't hit send so quickly. Like I didn't take my own advice here. I went off emotion. But I went with 4-1. I'm sticking with 4-1. That's what you're getting.
I'm gonna say 2-0. I think we finally get a clean sheet and a win.
I like it.
I'm tired of playing Miami, so like, can we make this like a WWE, like old school, like grave match where you have to bury the opponent and like Steve Austin comes in with a backhoe and like just buries Miami after? Can we just do that?
I like it.
Like I'm tired.
I like it. I'm in. I'm all for it. I think it's a good shout out.
Great.
All right. So we got 2 wins. I got 4-1. You got 2-0. Clean sheet. I like it. It'll be first one of the season. So, all right, man. That's what we got. I don't know what you got. Feel free to light us up in the comments. Speak your mind, say your piece, say what you got to do. We like it. I mean, this show's for you guys, man. We I would say we like hearing from you, but that might depend on
some of you. Yeah, some of you I like hearing from. Others just shut. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody love the feedback. There's people commenting that I don't think I've ever met, but they comment.
Same.
And I love it. Just keep doing it. Find Ben at a game, harass him in person.
Please do.
You can't miss him.
Then I'll get you banned from the stadium. I'll talk with you. I'll have a conversation with you. No, but seriously, guys, I mean it. I know that I kind of look like an a-hole walker and I don't want to talk to you. That's just my face. I can't change that.
He's just upset.
But generally, okay, I don't wear a hat. You don't know those things. Shut up. The point is no, I enjoy talking to you. Tell me I'm wrong. Give me your point. Don't just scream in my face. Tell me why you think I'm wrong. I am happy to listen to other opinions. I am a firm believer that I'm another dumb idiot in a room full of idiots, and we all have stupid opinions, and that's okay. I have my dumb opinions, but I'll listen to your dumb opinions too.
That's the whole.
That's what this is all about.
Nexus of the show is just idiots with opinions.
Pretty much. So yeah, that's all I got, man. I got nothing else for you guys to say. You got anything?
I'm gonna just give a quick "we love you" at the Tampa Bay Sun in the USL Super League final against Fort Lauderdale. It's a good old Tampa Bay Fort Lauderdale rivalry for the ship. It is the final in Tampa on the other side of the bay. So I think you should all get tickets, sell that out. I know I'm pretty sure it is again the same day as the Rowdies home game, but
it is.
But
that's okay. Get out there.
Yes, I think you should go see the Sun, catch the Rowdies game on maybe we shouldn't say that on a Rowdies podcast, but I think support the ladies. It's for the inaugural USL Super League Championship. It's history. We'll probably play Miami 4 more times this season. So if you missed the Rowdies Miami, you'll see it again soon. So I want to congratulate them. It's been a hell of a season, and they're in the final against Fort Lauderdale. So good luck, and bring that trophy home.
Yeah, I have one. Unfortunately, I forgot one of the artist's name, but I was going to say Issa, Laura Spencer, and I believe it was Alexandra or whatever did the art series. Those prints, there's a limited amount of them that are available to purchase. They all did 3 wonderful, unique, different styles that were all really cool. Please go out there and support them. Support your local artists. It's important. We love you to you 3. And I apologize for the other one. I will figure your name out. I will say it next time on air. Okay. We love you. That's all I got, guys.
All right. Come on, you Rowdies.
Come on, you Rowdies.
When the Rowdies play soccer, it's a sight to behold. You'll swear they'll be devils with magical toes. You'll laugh, you'll cheer, you'll leap from your seat when they kick with their head instead of their feet. The Rowdies run here, the Rowdies run there, they kick the ball around. The Rowdies run here, the Rowdies run there, and then they fall on the ground. Oh, the Rowdies, the Rowdies, the Rowdies are kicking the grass. When the Tampa Bay Rowdies take the field, there's a roar. The fans, loyal fannies, cheer the team they adore. There's music, there's laughter, pretty girls all around.